Isn't this cool? I can do everything from the iPad. I believe I'm live.
Hey there.
This is awesome. Hey, I just want you to know, Brandon, I'm really proud of myself right now. If you're watching this as you're heading back from the doctor, Brandon's not here to do all this morning, so I'm having to actually run the production of this jam session.
And I think you did it pretty successfully.
I mean,
I
got here like at 7 o'clock to make sure I could have it all set up. It took me 15 minutes. I mean, I love technology, how I can actually run a full jam session, have it streaming on all my platforms, put in all the everything just off my iPad, and our cameras that we use and our mics. I mean, it just...
You're full on production company.
I am.
You're making this easy.
Actually, Brandon had a step-by-step process. Here's what you need to do. Here are the 3 or 4 things.
Foolproof walkthrough.
Yep.
Oh, that's funny.
All right, so guys, this is the 79th episode of the Bob Mortgage Jam Session. 79. We're one away from 80.
We're going to have a 100th celebration episode here shortly. And bring in all your guests or something like that.
Oh, all the guests.
And have kind of a party.
Wow,
to celebrate.
This is really cool. Okay, this is Marc Bullock. What's up, Marc?
Hey, good morning. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
I didn't have to do too many plugins of wires or cords or anything else.
No, just one little plug and you're ready to roll. That's actually a really, really good idea. The 100th and have everybody present.
Kind of bring...
Well, see, here's the thing, though. This is your second one.
Yeah, that's true.
So I'm not going to have 100 people.
No, that's okay.
I keep bringing the great ones back, right?
Yeah. I'm waiting for my weekly spot.
Yeah, okay. I like that. We could definitely do that. Yeah, man. So I really appreciate you coming back on the jam session.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, well, absolutely. I mean, I know a lot of things have evolved. A lot of great things. Oh, there's your picture right back there.
Yeah, there we go.
Isn't that kind of cool?
Hopefully, I look a little bit.
Yeah, you look a little thinner.
Oh, thank you. Keto.
Is it keto?
It's keto. It is definitely keto.
Are you on keto?
I'm trying.
You're
real
trying?
hard.
Like maybe 60%?
70, 75.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Whoa. Okay.
So mainly during the week, but
and the weekends are
off keto.
You're off the rails, huh?
That's right. Yeah, we've had a lot of success and a lot of change probably since the last time we talked.
Absolutely.
And had our episode. My We Connect DFW team and we all moved over to Compass Real Estate.
Okay.
And
Compass Real Estate.
We are at Compass and loving it, and just been a really good fit and transition coming into the market. So.
What about that move where y'all looking at that could really help the team and the people that you serve? What was the kind of some of the deciding factors?
There's so much that we're having to learn and do and work with our clients on the fly, and make sure that we have the right technology platforms in front of us. And that is something that Compass was able to provide and make things just similar to what you do with you and your team. And when we refer clients to you, is that you have that technology component that allows you to move forward and get the job done a little bit more seamlessly, but also so much that we're always on the fly. Everybody's always moving around.
Yeah.
Our clients are moving around, just trying to coordinate closings and showings and appraisals and all the above. And it gave us that opportunity to really be mobile and be available.
So technology is somewhat of an important piece in your business?
Huge. It's just, I look...
Little sarcasm there.
I look back, and when I sat for my license when I was 18 and going through all this, I look back at what it really used to be 30 and 40 years ago. And I don't know if I could have done it without an iPhone or without having...
Man, I got in it 22 years ago, and I had to calculate a payment with my HP 12C calculator, which is still over there sitting on my desk. And it's the same one I had.
Yeah, well...
you're calculating everything with a calculator. Now I just plug it into a system, and it spits it out and tells me.
It makes it a little bit easier for us. So,
it does.
But
it does.
To go back and look at that and not having our tools and resources, I think I don't know if I would have survived or thrived as much as we have.
When's the last time somebody said, "Hey, can you fax that to me?"
Outside of a doctor's office,
right?
I think that...
I get them like, "Can we fax that to you?" I'm like, how about we use an e-fax?
E-fax, I was going to say that.
You can fax it to a number that'll convert it to an email for me, and I'm like, other than that, I have no way to accept a fax.
I've got an e-fax account. Yeah, that's about it. So
well, and it's cool that you guys have really, and I know y'all's team obviously very well, and you're very on the forefront of all the things that are out there, and always looking to embrace these pieces of technology or these disruption type opportunities to better what you're going to be doing, right?
Sure,
For
sure.
the next decade, right?
Yes,
So
definitely.
why is there a separation in both of our industries for the people that will embrace it and the people that won't embrace like technology and things like that?
I really think it's just been a sign of the times. You know, even our grandmothers are on Facebook now, and it's one of those that we are adapting with the things that are becoming so commonplace. Having that phone and communicating just through that device, practically not necessarily having that face to face as much as maybe we used to have.
Yep.
And so having the technology piece definitely is just a piece to make sure you're working with the client.
Working with the client in the way that they really want to communicate. Are you finding that you're actually able to communicate better, or has like texting and using video and things like that just taken away some of the personal approach to communication?
I think the fun thing about what we get to do is we have a hybrid. So we get to text, or we get to do a short video intro text message and send it off to somebody who maybe we've just met on the phone or met at an open house once. But then we actually get to work with them in person to go show the properties. You still have to have that face-to-face. I've been known to FaceTime a house to an out-of-state client, and
absolutely. I think that's so smart.
Kind of talk through and walk through what that looks like, but the majority of the time we are still get to have that face-to-face interaction. So maybe on the front end or during a contract conversation, it's still text, email, call. But we do get to still have that face-to-face.
Yeah, and that's cool that you actually get to have the face-to-face with the client, because I think that's still the most powerful way to have people buy in and for you to be able to sell your products and services, being face-to-face. But I do feel, if used properly, the pieces of technologies that we all have today can only enhance our ability to communicate with our clients. I mean, if you use texting the correct way, you use emails, you use videos, and it can't just be one way, right? You can't just say, I'm only going to communicate via text, because there are going to be clients that would prefer video or email, and some that only want, or you want to do video, but like I'm a big video guy, but you have to have texting and email engaged in their communication, because that suits them better. So
it's like going to a restaurant. You've got a menu. There's not just one item on that menu. You get to give that to the client, and you could say, how does this work with you guys? Circle what you want us to, how best to communicate, when to communicate, how often, what does that look like? And so, we're trying to accommodate and suit for all of those needs. Even on my phone, I could do a contract right now. So if we get that property and we know that that's what we're looking for, I've got the apps on my phone that allow me to shoot the contract together in a decent amount of time, but you can scroll through and do it easier on the iPad or computer.
Now, the FaceTime, how has that helped, like, being able to video the home or FaceTime with your client to show them the home? Has that really helped your business and helped your ability to communicate and maybe even make quicker decisions?
That's probably the best comment. Easier to make a quicker decision, because if someone's on their lunch break or they're not yet in DFW and we're not able to communicate, we can cycle through a handful of homes with FaceTime and choose the ones that we want to go do a second look on in person, but eliminate the ones that don't work. That's probably the better saving time tool, is that they can say, oh, definitely not, or let's take a second look.
So it's the elimination. It's the process of elimination. Look, there's no reason to go look at taking your client's time. There's no reason to go look at 15 homes, right, or 10 homes, whatever it is. I'm out there, you're out there previewing, right? Okay, here's what I'm showing you, but why you don't want this house. We can eliminate these 5. Now let's focus on these 5.
Definitely.
Right.
Now,
so all that energy goes to those 5 then.
And there are some times where we'll still do a full-on marathon day and hit 16 houses, on one Saturday afternoon. But yes, it allows for a little bit more efficient use of everybody's time.
That's cool. I like that. We get to do that. I mean, I've always said we're not the sexy ones in the transaction, so it's not like we're talking about income, assets, and credit, and they're wanting the home, and we're kind of like the barrier, right? And so we try to break that down. We really do. We use video a lot to break down our barriers.
Sure.
And so one of the things that we use is what's called a total cost analysis. Basically, it's our version of your home that you're showing the client, because that's the home. Ours is the loan. But that total cost analysis, that TCA, is a way for us to show them like loan options. Mm-hmm. So here's option A, B, and C, and here's how we break it out between the comparisons of payments and out-of-pocket expense side by side, and then which one delivers the lowest cost of ownership, meaning, which one do you pay the least amount of interest and mortgage insurance on over the period of time that you're going to have that house, right? I mean, it's a way for us to really just show it side by side comparison. We get to use videos, they get to see us talk and engage with them. It's our way of showing them the home.
But what I like about your TCA and what you work with is also focusing on the down payment too. Yeah. So you can maneuver, that's another piece of your puzzle to make sure that they fit and understand how cash looks like, what do we need to bring to closing.
Yeah, look, I believe transparency helps bridge trust, right? A lot of people in the finance game or the clients are a little bit, they don't trust us, right? Because they're like, well, what's the rates? What are my costs? I've heard all these horror stories. And right out of the gate, I want to be so transparent that we take all that away from them and say, look, here's everything, right? Here's how the rates work. Here's how your costs work, your down payment. I don't want there to be ever any questions about that stuff, because it's their money.
Sure.
I was taught a long time ago, there's certain things you don't mess with, and that's, people's money, their religion.
That's
you kind of, their kids, right?
That's right.
So if I'm going to go with the money side of it, which is what we do, I want to get it out there as quickly as possible, and that way they're making buying decisions versus feeling like they're being, square peg, round hole. They're being pigeonholed into a particular product that they haven't chosen themselves.
Well, it helps to also know what their options are when we are out looking.
Yeah.
And if they've already locked in on what type of financing program that you want to be using with you and with them that meets their needs, it really helps us to do some quick back of the napkin math when we are showing a house at a certain price point.
Well, once we have that TCA built, guys, like Mark's saying to me, that you may be out there looking for a $550,000 home, and you find two different ones you really like, $530 and $575. I can already have that pre-built at different price points, or I can easily go in and modify it, within minutes to modify to the $535 and the $575, so you can decide, okay, hey, this is the house I really want. I thought it was going to be more of an increase in out-of-pocket expense or payments. It's really not that much, because once I have those total cost analyses built,
you just pop in that.
I can make quick adjustments, right, on my phone, right? Make quick adjustments, and then you guys are out there making buying decisions, so you're not having to worry if you're going to miss that house, right? Because this is the perfect home. If I wait 24 hours, it could be gone.
Definitely.
Right.
Definitely.
We need you making decisions right then.
Homes that are priced right and in the right area,
location, yep,
and also with the right amenities,
they still
move extremely quickly.
Are they moving really quickly right now? What are we seeing? Because we hear market shift, we hear this market shift terminology, right? So what does that really mean? What are you guys experiencing out there on the streets?
So it is the spring market, and inventory is up. There is a significant amount from even last year of 2018, which was a phenomenal year that we had. There's even a higher amount of inventory in DFW right now than there was last year at this time. So we've got more options to look at, and making sure that everything fits the right price point, amenity list, location, schools, feel, whatever the client's looking for, that is helpful. But there's a lot out there, so you really have to kind of whittle down what works and what doesn't.
So does that speak to like your buyer rep meeting or something like that? Don't you do I'm sure you do, right? You have your little meeting and you're really trying to understand from that client what they're looking for?
It can get very overwhelming setting up a client and having them try to look through 50, 75, 100 homes online and just try to figure out what all that means. And so really honing in on location, if it's school, if it's number of bedrooms, garages, close to a certain area of town like a lake, or
Right.
all of that, trying to hone in on that early and up front, but then also price. Because being able to work with you and your team and get to a specific price range,
Right.
that allows us to also narrow down some of the possibilities.
Correct. Yeah. So you guys are doing that up front, and then that's helping that client not have to spend all these days and hours out there looking at homes that really don't even
Sure.
match what they want.
Well, you can imagine if you just pull up, realtor.com or Zillow, the amount of items that just show up on your screen are
but
can be
even when you pull
overwhelming.
those up, they're not even giving you all the accurate data, right? Because they don't have all the homes on MLS, and a lot of them, I mean, heck, they could be sold and hadn't been updated.
So that's definitely a flaw. The Zillow Trulia program
Okay.
and some of those. The Realtor.com app feeds directly from MLS.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
you've got to-the-minute data. And
Okay.
so we highly recommend use all your resources.
Sure.
But if there's one you've zoned in on a different app, click over to Realtor.com app.
Okay.
And you'll know
Yep.
exactly where that's sitting, if it's an option or what else is pending or
Yep.
anything else or possibly already sold. There are some data points on the other apps that are sometimes old
Yeah.
or outdated.
They're old and outdated. I mean, I've seen them firsthand. I mean,
Somebody
seriously on
calls you and
Zillow.
says, I want to buy this one. And you're like, that sold 2 months ago.
Yeah, well, I mean, even my house, I'm like, dude, that home's not even on the market anymore. It sold a long time ago, and it's like, well,
Yeah.
that's Zillow.
Yeah.
But hey,
That's right.
but hey, they're taking over the world, I hear.
Hey, we see ourselves working with them and competing with them every day. So
Yeah.
that's really exciting with Compass too.
Yeah, I mean that's they I think they just got in the mortgage business. I heard.
Really?
Yeah. So
Huh.
we'll see how that works. Just like with anything, I mean, I fully embrace it. I mean, I don't think it's going to be negative for our industry. It's just going to continue to make the buyer more aware of what their options are. And so, for me, it's all about embracing that and leading with media, so that I can stay on the forefront of my sphere and my scope, where I'm working all over Texas. We'll expand. We're going to expand into California and other areas as well. But right now, it's all over Texas. And I just got to look at it and say, you know what? It's my responsibility. It's my job just to educate and let them do whatever they're going to do, right? They're all really through lead acquisition. So guys, don't think you're getting all this wonderful stuff for free, because all they're doing is trying to gather your data to sell it, right? That's how they make their money. So,
And the thing that is still so important, because this is normally the largest purchase decision of one's life, multiple times over their time period of here and growing and becoming an adult and all those other things.
Becoming an adult, oh my gosh.
All of that. So you're going to buy and sell multiple times, but it's still at that one given point the largest decision that you'll probably financially make. It's nice to be able to connect that with someone. As much as I love an Amazon, which
sure.
don't necessarily know who's delivering it or where it's coming from or all of those things, but the packages end up on my door and it's amazing. When it comes to a pretty significant decision, I kind of like to know the person I'm working with.
Right. I went to Amazon this morning.
Yep.
I needed some toner for my printer at the house.
Sure.
So I clicked on a button. I bought my printer toner, and it's going to be shipped here tomorrow. That's wonderful.
Amazing.
Amazon's great for that.
Amazing.
But I agree. If I'm going to be making the single largest financial decision I want to make in my lifetime, I would love to talk to somebody and have an advisor walk me through what my options are. Sure, you want to compare, I fully expect all that. You want to make sure you're getting a great loan, the right loan at the right price, but you typically can't find that, because if you really go online, guys, and I do this all the time, you're going to have to read into that fine print, because the rates that are getting quoted, we're typically with a lot different down payment than what you're wanting to put down. They do show with points, even though you think that, I'm not paying points to get these rates. If you really read the fine print, there could be 1 5/8 points, 2 points. I've seen them as high as the on the spaceship lender type stuff, and I mean, it's there, it's present. So just do your due diligence and really read. But talking to a person, I think, is the best way still the best way to get around it.
For this type of decision.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, I'm assuming you guys are kind of in that same position, right? I mean, how are you looking at, some of the disruptors that are out there that just say, hey, you can actually buy the house without a realtor, just looking at it online, right? With pictures and
Sure.
video and all that kind of stuff. Why do you need an agent?
Well, I would say that definitely having somebody walk you through, again, single largest financial decision at that time in your life, and knowing the ins and outs, the steps, explaining to you the process, assisting with appraisal and inspections and all of the above.
Mm-hmm.
You need a full-time person for that,
right?
And that's us. And
Mm-hmm.
so once we get past showing those homes and figuring out what their financing looks like, we actually get to dive in deeper onto going through the contract, talking about what appraisals look like, going through your inspections, making sure
Mm-hmm.
repairs are done correctly.
Correct. Yep.
You need an advocate.
Yep.
You need somebody to help you with that process.
I agree.
So that's really been our thing, and knowing how good me and my team are at working on our digital footprint of having the best photos and the best videos and the right walkthroughs and everything that we put together. You still need to be able to see the house.
Yeah.
And you still need to know how things maneuver and work within the house and the age of roof and when was the last time an HVAC unit was either maintenance or replaced, or all of that comes with hiring a realtor and working directly with them. So, and it's important because
So a piece of technology can't do that, can it?
Still have that personal touch.
And even somebody sitting in wherever, Michigan, that is an hourly employee that's just set there to help service all the leads that come in from these big companies. They can't do that because they don't know the home. They're not present. They don't know Texas soil and what happens and what is really movement and
what
they
structural
don't exactly they don't know that stuff, right?
Sure.
So while I see all this happening, I think it's healthy, but then I think it's also our responsibility to make sure that the people out there understand the true value proposition and what we bring to the table. It's our responsibility to make sure we give it to them. But, we got to let them know. I mean, we got to let them know on a daily basis why they need to make these types of decisions.
Well, and we would see, I think the vast majority of our clients are finding it refreshing of how the WeConnect DFW team is interacting with them because our business is growing.
Yeah.
We keep doing more deals year over year, and we keep helping more people and interacting with more customers and clients, and that is, I think, a little refreshing. From, again, we like that the toner for your printer is going to show up tomorrow at your doorstep at 8 a.m., but having that person really kind of hold your hand and walk through this decision is really important, and people are responding to it. Yeah,
they are. I mean, and on our end, I mean, we give them a little bit of both, right? I mean, if they would like that speed, what you would perceive to be speed that you get from going online, we have a platform that allows them to do all those kind of things. They can build their profiles, they can upload their documents, they can get pretty far along the process. But then at some point, they raise their hand. At some point we engage, because then it is coming to the numbers. Okay, you like this product, you like these rates, but hey, did you know that there are other options? Oh, no, I didn't.
Yeah, let's discuss.
Right, so the millennials, which I love them, they research. But I can tell them, and we talk about it, it's like, oh, wow, I didn't realize that you could do it this way, like mortgage insurance. A lot of them will research the mortgage insurance. If you go out there, it'll tell you have to put 20% down. Sure. But they don't have that kind of money right now. They have the income but not the money to use to put down to that much money. But there are ways to buy out mortgage insurance, either finance it in, pay it one time, have the lender pay it. There's so many different ways to do it. And they're like, oh, wow, I didn't find that in my research I did on Google. There's
some products and offerings that you guys have that really does warrant
a conversation.
A conversation, yes. Again, video, phone, whatever you need to have.
How much video are you doing? Come on.
Oh, not a lot. not a lot. We do a lot of videos of our properties.
Of your properties.
Yes. Yep. And so we'll do some commercials here and there. We've done some ads on some of our bigger properties and things that we work with. But need to continue to work that game.
So the properties, obviously, that's your showcase. I mean, you guys are. I mean, I know you guys do. I even saw one post last night or something like that. You guys are out video and a photo and a particular property, right? So. I mean, that is a big part of y'all's
Yes,
business, and you
that is
really take care of that home.
We take it really seriously. Our team is great about knowing that digital footprint of what people are seeing on their phone at their lunch break is what we need to grab you in to get you scheduled to come see a showing and come walk through the house. And so having that emphasis and making sure that everything is professionally done and things that even although we've been doing it for a while and we're pretty good at, our own camera work and everything else, but we bring in professional crews because that's what's needed to support our clients when going on the market and making sure that we're attractive.
Wow. So your team, you guys have about 8?
We've got 8 realtors total on the team.
8 realtors on the team.
And so we are all throughout DFW and we are working with our clients in any area that they need and really helping out and knowing that we've got subject matter experts around the Metroplex also helps really well because we can pick up and make a phone call with somebody who's on the PTA in that certain school district and know that we've got some inside information to help.
Okay. How long have you been doing this?
It's been kind of a lifelong.
Seems
It
like
does.
Forever.
It grew up in real estate. Families in the construction business, development business, residential and commercial.
So you've been around this thing for so long.
I was sweeping job sites at 12 years old. It's kind of one of those things. But that's also how we have another layer that we can provide our clients to be like, let's talk about this type of composite roof. Let's talk about what a tankless hot water heater looks like and what you should be knowing and looking for about that.
Wow.
Spray foam insulation, R values, whatever it needs to be. I kind of grew up around it.
You're that nerd.
That's yes. And so when we want to talk about new construction or we want to talk to a client about maybe some renovations that they want to do prior to listing, we can kind of go through what that bang for the buck looks like and literally having firsthand knowledge my entire life, it kind of helps. And then we work with making sure that our team definitely knows updated standards, international building code, all of those things that can sometimes help us and help educate the client.
Okay.
So licensed in multiple states, and we're doing really good.
What's where you draw your inspiration from to keep doing this every day?
That's a good question. Now we're getting deep. I think it is really there is a level that you feel once you close a transaction and get a new family into a home. And having a successful process, having the right financial person, making sure that you get through the inspections and repairs and all of that, and going through kind of sometimes, which could be for some clients 1-2 year process of looking and trying to find, others 1 to 2 weeks of trying to find what they need and get ready and then go through the closing process. There's a really cool high that you get when you're able to close and help people get into, again, single largest financial decision normally of their life.
So it's a lot of it is centered around just your ability to impact somebody's life. Is that really, at the end of the day, that's where
we have so much knowledge, and being able to share that and help someone learn through the process and learn about that, whatever it is on the home, is really cool. That being able to, I don't want to just keep it all bottled up for the rest of my life. I want to be able to talk and discuss kind of what that looks like for them.
What when you look at, because this is a tough business.
Yes.
Okay.
It's a roller coaster.
It is. So I'm going to go on 2 different sides. So first, from the buyer perspective, let's say. Okay. What question should they be asking when they're trying to decide which realtor to use?
From a buyer perspective, I think it's really important for them to be asking about if they have the criteria that they're already looking for. So they know a location, they know to a school district, they know something like that. That's really important to be talking about who is the subject matter expert in this area, how can we assist in knowing what kind of the boots on the grounds are to find the right house at the right time, what's coming soon. We have a lot of channels that way, and that's why our team perspective works so well, is because we can help them in a certain area. If it's a buyer not necessarily sure about an area, you want to be talking to somebody to say, how can I best go to the different areas when searching and know which one's going to fit us. When we sit down with buyers, we talk about what is the purpose of this home and how long are you going to be here.
Yep.
So is this a 1 to 2 years? Is this a 3 to 5 year? Is this to raise a family? Is this to downsize? Is this what does that look like? And having that conversation up front with them and discussing the services that we can provide for each of those areas is really helpful.
Yeah, that's a great answer. What about a seller?
So our seller, I think the majority of that I personally work on is listings and working with sellers and getting houses ready, and love the buy side, but just statistically, I'm kind of personally, not necessarily the whole team, but I'm a listing agent, and we really help our clients get that property ready to go back to what we said, the digital footprint, to make sure that we're up and running. And if that's with certain items that we have on staging, if that's our professional, film and photo crew, and everything that comes in a part of that. But then also making sure that the other agents in the area understand that we're coming on the market and what we're offering. And there's a whole conversation that we'll have a full 30 days prior to ever hitting MLS.
Right.
Just to discuss kind of how we're strategically working with the seller to make sure that the home is ready and up and running so we can get the traffic. And when we're in a market like we are today with a 10, 12, 15% increase in inventory, we want to make sure that we stand out. So having Zillow access and having all of these other things that we know how to do and work the algorithms, your home's going to show up. I got a home I went live with the other day and Friday, and we've had 863 views and 150 saves and all this stuff just on Zillow. And it's number one out of all the competition in the area. And it's because we know how to set up the property.
Go slow to go fast.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, you
definitely.
take that 30 days, you're very intentional with every piece of whether it's the conversation, it's the marketing, it's the wording that you put into Zillow or Realtor, wherever it's going to be, MLS,
the timing of when during the week, when at what hour, even
I like that.
That small nuance can help.
And then the fact that how you guys market even within your own real estate community. Right, because that's probably where a lot of the buyers would come from is your partners, your agent partners. People see them as agents would talk to me about their competition. I'm like, no, I mean you can't look at it really that way. I mean these are people. Yes, they're out there doing the same thing, but they have the ability to impact your client's life as much as you do because they have buyers that could come sell your listing.
It's a interesting industry to where you can be competing with someone one day and then be working a deal with them on being on both sides the next day. And so for all of us, the goal is to get the right person, family into the right home at the right time. And so we're going to work together, and we are in agent forums, and we've got special Facebook, private groups and things that just kind of alerts the agent public of what is coming online, and or if you have a need of like a buyer need, let me know, and so can kind of work through that too.
What if they're like a newer agent out there, or an agent that maybe has been in it a while but is struggling a little bit? What's a piece of advice? Because I mean, you guys do really, really well, and a lot of different channels. But what would be something that you could provide some advice to them on?
I think a big piece, if you're a newer agent, not on a team necessarily, and most people aren't, would be a collaboration. And making sure you're going and introducing yourself to lenders, making sure you're going and talking to title people, making sure you're going to work with inspectors, or if they're hosting a lunch and learn or a continuing education credit. And I know, our team comes to your CE credit hours and courses and everything, and it's that collaboration that when you do come across that buyer or seller, you actually have some tools in your tool belt to make sure you're ready to move forward and move quickly. This is a fast business when the client's ready.
Yes.
So
when the client's ready, it is fast.
You see that. If they call you and say, I want to close in 10 days, hey, you've done it for me. And we worked through that process. But it also means that they were already vetted ahead of time. All the paperwork was turned in. We went through that. But when they're ready and we find the right property, it moves.
Yeah,
so
it does.
for the newer agent, you need to make sure that you've got your
board of directors. I mean, your board of advisors, basically.
I would say your resource roster.
Yep.
And make sure that that is really is stacked also to have a second inspector. Because if your inspector that you normally call on and offer to the clients, we give them a list and they choose, but there's some that just aren't always available.
Sure.
And it's just gonna make sure you're providing them multiple options to get that. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that, it's important that they need to have their go-to people. They need to have, I feel like, a board of advisors, or people that they can talk to, because look, this industry changes so much. There's people getting in, there's people getting out, people that have great plans but they don't ever execute them. It's who's holding you accountable to what you put out there that you say you're going to do, almost like a coach.
Sure.
Right? I mean, I think those things are important. I believe it is, but how do you feel about, an agent that maybe is not really there yet? Should they join a team? Is there value in that?
For us, it has all been about fit. It has become a team collaboration through people who we already knew ahead of time.
Yep.
Either in a different life, in a different area, at a competing firm, whatever that looked like. They were all people who we knew about. We knew kind of what they do, their ethics, their morals. We knew they were people we wanted to work with. And so I wouldn't just necessarily go and join a team just to say you're on a team, but I would be looking for a fit that makes sense for both you, the agent, and that team leader or principal or whatever they're called, to make sure that that's successful.
That's going to be successful. Yeah.
Our team gels. We jive. It's like family, and we love it that way. And that's why there's no real reason to keep expanding and thinking that we're adding 1 million people onto it. It's that it's the right fit in the right location, and they're subject matter experts in those areas.
Man, I'm going through that right now because we continuously grow, right? I mean, we're very blessed, and I want to thank everybody that trusts our brand. But I'm looking, right? I always have to be out there looking for that right person. Because it's not a butts and seats type team.
No.
Right? I just don't need people. I need to find the right people that can impact us equally as much as we can impact them, because I'm going to be working to impact them at 10 times what they think, right? And so it's about, will they fit in culturally within my team? Because that's the most important thing, is the cultural fit. Will they support them? Are they really about team?
Sure.
Or is there more of an I and not a we? Because that can't exist when we all have to ultimately take care of the one person, the client.
And it's twofold. That's exactly what I was going to say. It's not just successful on the team; it's successful with the client.
Yeah.
We're both in that role. There's the inward facing and the outward facing, or the internal and external, and you need to make sure that it works in both arenas.
Yeah, and you can't talk about it one time. We talk about it all the time. I mean, it's like, my team's like, oh my gosh, we just talked about this last week. I'm like, we're going to talk about it every single week. We're going to talk about it in every meeting. I mean, it is about feel and experience. I do mortgages, I get it, but we're in the feel and experience business. How do we make people feel about the experience they're going through? If people feel great about their experience, guess what? We all win.
Sure.
Right? We all win. It's as simple. Do they feel great about their experience? And then how do you make them feel great? That then gets into everything underneath the water and the iceberg deal, right? Feel and experience is up here. Everything else below that is the execution behind feel and experience. And that obviously is a big conversation. I mean, that's where we have all of our process and our technology and our manufacturing line and touch points and videos and text and emails. I mean, just it's all that stuff. Are we at the end of the day delivering a great feel and experience?
Yeah.
That's the only like survey question, I want to know.
No,
Did you
well-
have a great? Did you feel great about your experience you had? Yes or no? If it's no, crap. What did we do wrong? How did we? And then you find out, okay, well, it was something small. Okay, cool. I can tweak that. Right?
Sure.
Ultimately, they were very super happy.
You go, well, successful and close the transaction, and you know.
But I want to know, did you have a great experience? If it's yes, awesome. What about the experience did you like? Right, because that's where we need to continue to double down on everything that we do.
Sure.
Right, if we're finding that trend that everybody likes this particular part of our manufacturing process, and that's what they're saying is delivering them a great experience, you got to double down on that stuff. Give me a fun fact that nobody would know about you.
Oh, I don't know about that. I have a degree in foreign languages and literature from SMU. I speak Spanish and Mandarin Chinese.
Whoa!
I don't know how fun that's maybe
that
fun.
Is a fun fact. Spanish and Mandarin?
In Mandarin.
Really?
And so studied abroad, lived in China for a little bit of my life, and so yeah, just fun fact.
See, we've been working together for a long time. I didn't even know that.
I don't necessarily get to use my Chinese as much as I'd want to, but it's available and have some.
I mean, fluent. I mean, can you?
There for a while when I was living there, I could read a newspaper. So all in characters, yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
But it takes practice, just like anything else. So
you don't use it, you lose it, right? I mean, is that okay?
That's true. But I went back there a couple years ago and just got in a taxi cab and just started speaking and got to the right location and hotel and everything else. So
good for you, man.
Yeah, so it's there. It's somewhere in one of the file cabinets sitting in my brain.
Hey, if anybody wants to reach out to you, how will they get a hold of you? Any digits, any sites? What do you want to give out?
Yeah. So Marc Bullock, MarcBullock. You can Google realtor. Put behind that because there's like a neurosurgeon out of England with the same name, not me. And but definitely our telephone number for me is 214-674-4311, and then on Facebook, our Compass website, which has all of our current listings, everything that we've worked with. So pretty easy Google search.
How do they get to what's the website?
Oh, that's a good question. There's a lot of backslashes and other things.
Oh, okay. So we'll just
Marc Bullock Compass. It'll pop right up. First thing in Google.
Well, I appreciate you joining me on this 79th episode, brother.
Hey,
I really did.
We're getting close to
this
that
is the second one. So like you said,
celebration.
on the 100th, I mean, you'll have to come back twice. I don't know. I'm not going to have 100 people. So
No.
Yeah.
But party.
It'll be a party. Hey, I really appreciate you guys joining us and giving us your eyes and your ears today. Have a great and awesome day. Make somebody else's day even better. Take care.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, bro. So.